Alamo.alicum. Welcome back to our channel, Digital Future AI School. Kindly subscribe our channel, like and share with friends, and this is the episode 30 of Book AI Agent Makers, written by Mr. Zahir Ahmad Mir. Okay, with that said, welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are undertaking a deep dive that, and I mean this, will fundamentally change how you, the listener, should think about AI output.
That's right.
Forget just, having a casual chat with a large language model.
Yeah.
We're talking about AI as a highly structured, professional, almost like a document architect.
A document architect. I like that. Our source material today is, it's basically a critical operational blueprint for AI agents. It's Appendix T from the book AI Agent Makers by Mr. Zahir Ahmad Mir.
And this is the 100-plus ready-to-use output format.
Exactly. And if you still think an AI agent's highest capability is, just summarizing a wall of text, you are about to see the kind of structure required for its professional, publication-grade output.
Okay, so let's unpack this immediately. Our mission here is to explore how these AI agents go from generating raw, chaotic, often inconsistent text into producing clean, consistent, professional documents. We're looking at the very specific, highly specialized templates that bridge that gap. The gap between a general-purpose LLM and a truly usable professional coworker.
And the core premise here, what the entire Appendix T hinges on, is the enforcement of structure.
Structure.
Yes. In high-stakes fields, think law, finance, compliance structure is not a nice-to-have. It's absolutely essential.
Non-negotiable.
It's completely non-negotiable because a standard format ensures two things. First, consistency in every single output, and second, adherence to established international documentation standards.
Okay, I get the consistency part. That makes sense. You don't want a risk assessment that looks different every time you run it.
Of course not.
But help me elaborate a bit on that second part, the adherence to international documentation standards. How does a template achieve that?
Well, because so many professional documents, especially in, say, law or international business, they already follow globally accepted formats.
Oh.
Think about the required parts of a financial report or the structure of a legal notice. These templates aren't just arbitrary, they're CADIS. They're codified layouts.
So they're based on real-world professional standards.
Precisely. So by programming the AI agent to fill these specific fields, case title, ratio decidendi, action items, deadline, the output is automatically formatted to an industry standard that professionals anywhere in the world will recognize and, more importantly, trust.
And unstructured output introduces risk.
A huge amount of risk. A structured output, on the other hand, guarantees compliance.
So these formats are like a rigid mold. They force the AI's generative power into a very specific, repeatable, and, verifiable shape.
That's the perfect way to put it. It's the necessary bridge between a general language model and a fully functional, accountable, professional AI agent.
Okay, so let's start by defining the central problem these templates are here to solve. Yeah. AI agents, we know, are incredibly powerful generative tools.
Immensely powerful.
You can feed 1 million documents. But if you ask it to, say, summarize this complex corporate acquisition, what you often get back is this massive, dense, unstructured paragraph.
A wall of text.
Exactly. A wall of text that a human then has to spend another hour trying to distill the actual takeaways from.
And that unstructured output leads directly to analysis paralysis, wasted time, and worst of all, professionally unusable documents. These 100-plus templates are designed to eliminate that inefficiency. They guarantee what the source material promises: fully structured, publication-grade output.
It's really the difference between getting a frantic, voice-to-text dump of someone's thoughts and receiving a formal business memo, one with a clear subject line, a date, a concise summary, and, bulleted action items. The second one is immediately actionable. It's verifiable. It's ready for the archives.
And this structural enforcement is why they matter so much to a professional user. The source material is very clear that these formats ensure AI agents produce clean, consistent professional outputs every single time. They are essentially the AI's operational mandate.
What's really fascinating here is just the sheer scope of it all. It really underlines the ambition of this whole approach. The appendix covers 9 major categories.
It's huge.
It really is. It emphasizes the breadth of applicability across the entire economy.
Yeah.
You have legal, business, education, medical, startup, RAG, multimodal, video, audio, productivity, and even government.
So this isn't just a handful of useful templates. It's a full operational framework for professional AI.
Exactly. It's defining how AI is supposed to interact with almost every major sector of human professional activity.
Right. And for us today, we're going to be diving deep into 4 of those critical areas. We'll spend a good amount of time exploring the strategic impact of these structures in legal, business, education, and then the really cutting-edge area of multimodal and RAG.
Which is really the foundation for AI trustworthiness.
It's the absolute foundation. It's where the rubber meets the road on whether you can actually trust what the AI is telling you.
Okay, let's transition right into that first major category then. Legal output formats. If there is one field where precision, precedent, and structure are just absolutely paramount, it has to be law.
Oh, without a doubt.
We're not just talking about generating some text here. We're talking about generating documents that have to hold up in a court of law.
The risk of failure it's existential in this space. The 20 formats that are listed in this section ensure that an AI, when you task it with legal drafting or analysis, simply cannot skip the mandatory steps of judicial consistency.
So these formats are kind of mirroring the systems that are already in place.
They're mirroring the rigorous documentation requirements that have been built up over centuries in, common law and civil law systems all around the world.
Okay, so let's start with the big one, the foundational document for presenting a case, the legal brief format. The template requires 8 components: case title, facts, issues, arguments, precedents, ratio, and conclusion.
And this is where the AI's analytical quality is really forced into the open. Let's focus on just one part of that, the requirement to separate the ratio from the conclusion.
Okay, the ratio, what is that exactly?
The ratio decidendi. It's the essential legal principle upon which the case was decided. It's the legal reasoning. The conclusion, on the other hand, is just the outcome. Who won, who lost, what was the order?
And why is forcing an AI to separate those two things so critical? I mean, an unstructured summary might just blend the reasoning into the result.
And that blending is intellectually dangerous in the legal field. By forcing the AI agent to separate them, you are ensuring it doesn't just summarize the facts and the outcome. You're forcing it to correctly identify the core legal principle that created the outcome.
Ah, I see.
It forces the AI to demonstrate that it understands the legal precedent that was established, not just who won the case. That separation is proof that the AI performed a valid, complex analytical step that you'd expect from a skilled legal mind.
So it's validating the AI's ability to conduct analogical reasoning, which is, that's the cornerstone of common law, isn't it?
It is exactly that. And you see this concept reinforced in the next format, the written arguments format. It's a logical progression.
Right.
It goes introduction, brief facts, questions of law, legal submissions, case law, and finally, relief sought. This template guides the AI through the persuasive narrative you need in court.
So it's building an argument step by step.
Precisely. It demands that you ground your legal submissions in actual case law before you conclude with what you want, which is the relief sought.
This structure prevents the AI from just, presenting a list of demands without laying the proper legal groundwork first.
Yes. It is, in essence, the enforcement of persuasive logic.
And what about the more administrative side of things?
Well, even there, structure is key. Look at the High Court petition format. Even this document, which is often procedural, requires specific structured components: a title, memo of parties, facts, grounds, a prayer, and the annexures index.
The annexures index. That's the list of all the supporting documents.
It is. And if the AI misses that part, if it forgets to generate the mandatory list of all supporting documents, the entire filing could be procedurally rejected by the court. The structure itself acts as a procedural compliance checklist.
Wow. Okay, let's shift to the analytical formats. This is where the AI can really show its worth as a strategic assistant. I'm looking at the evidence chart format. This looks like a powerful tool for detailed review.
It's fantastic.
It has columns for item, type, source, relevance, and OMTUS.
Yeah.
This is the crucial one: contradictions.
That contradictions column is, and I'm not exaggerating, perhaps the single most important structure in this entire legal section.
Why is that?
Think about large-scale litigation. A human lawyer is sifting through tens of thousands of pages of discovery documents, emails, contracts, transcripts. It's so easy to miss minor inconsistencies because of the sheer cognitive load.
The volume of information is just the enemy of being meticulous.
It's the absolute enemy. So by forcing the AI to structure all the evidence in this chart, and then to explicitly flag and categorize any contradictions it finds between different sources or statements, you turn the AI into a meticulous 247 inconsistencies spotter.
So it's not just organizing data.
It's not. It's performing strategic analysis. It's identifying the weaknesses in the factual foundation of a case. This kind of tool can save lawyers days, maybe even weeks, of painstaking review time.
That really does shift the AI from just summarizing evidence to performing genuine strategic analysis. It's reporting on what the evidence fails to be or where it conflicts instead of just what it says.
And that strategic approach is immediately visible in the next one, the cross-examination format. This is pure courtroom tactics.
Okay, this one has 4 parts: topic, contradiction identified, leading question, and expected impact.
You see how it builds?
Yes, this is a really complex prompt. The AI has to isolate a contradiction, then formulate a tactical question based on it,
Yeah.
and then it has to predict the desired outcome of asking that question. How does a template like this elevate the AI's role?
It explicitly asks the AI to move beyond data analysis and into strategy creation. You feed the AI a bunch of deposition transcripts, and you demand this format as the output. The AI then synthesizes its findings from that evidence chart we just talked about.
Right.
It identifies the contradiction, and then it drafts the question designed specifically to exploit that weakness, and it does it alongside the expected impact, the admission, the confusion, the concession you are trying to get. It's an AI agent crafting a direct, high-pressure, tactical plan for a lawyer to use in court.
That is a fundamental leap in value. It's strategic foresight, not just looking back and summarizing.
It's a huge leap.
Let's consider the research side, the precedent extraction format. This seems crucial for common law jurisdictions.
Absolutely. It's case, citation, issue, held, and application. This is the structure designed for efficient analogical reasoning.
So the AI processes a relevant, known case.
Right. It breaks it down into its core legal components, the issue and what the court held. And then, most importantly, it has to articulate the application. How does this precedent apply to the current set of facts? This standardized approach ensures that the legal argument you derive from a precedent is sound and structurally defensible.
And when you're dealing with legislation instead of case law.
There's a format for that too, the statutory interpretation format. This one enforces legal discipline. It's provision, legislative intent, judicial interpretation, and application.
This sounds like a philosophical enforcement of legal methodology.
That's a great way to put it. It ensures the AI follows the recognized hierarchy of how you interpret statutes. First, you look at the plain text, the provision. Second, you respect the original purpose, the legislative intent. Third, you consider how binding courts have treated it. That's judicial interpretation. And only then, finally, do you apply that synthesized understanding to the case at hand.
So it prevents the AI from just citing a law without any context.
Exactly. It forces a rigorous, defensible, analytical process.
Before we leave the legal section, I want to go back to a very specialized compliance format you mentioned, the Gazette Notification Assessment format.
Ah, yes. This is an essential tool for high-volume compliance work.
The fields are notification number, issue date, publication date, legal status, case law, and conclusion.
Right. So governments all over the world publish thousands of regulatory changes in these official gazettes every year. It's impossible for a human to keep up. An AI agent can be tasked with scanning these documents constantly. And when it finds something relevant, it must instantly organize the critical metadata for a business to understand its new compliance obligations.
So it's about filtering all that noise and identifying the legal signal.
That's it. And the structure separates the simple administrative details, like the date and the number, from the legal substance, the status and related case law. And critically, it demands that the AI provide a conclusion on the potential impact.
Basically, what must the company do now?
Exactly. This structure transforms raw, dense regulatory text into immediate, actionable compliance intelligence. It saves countless hours for corporate legal and compliance departments.
The big takeaway here seems to be that these legal templates don't just format the text, they're actually enforcing the required cognitive steps of a skilled legal professional.
That's the core value proposition. It's about enforcing professional-grade thinking.
All right, let's transition. We're going from the high rigor of law to the high speed of business and startups. Here, the imperative shifts a bit. It moves from judicial precision to clarity, speed, and scalability.
It does. Startups need to move fast, they need to iterate constantly, but they absolutely cannot afford to look amateurish to investors or partners.
And that's where structure becomes a real competitive advantage.
It really is. The 20 formats in this business section ensure that even a company that was formed just last week can maintain a professional, consistent documentation standard. And that is critical for attracting investment and for managing complexity as they start to scale.
So let's look at strategy first, starting with the classic, the business plan format. It has 8 fundamental sections.
The 8 pillars.
Problem, solution, market, competition, business model, financial projections, team, and roadmap.
And these 8 sections are the universal, non-negotiable language of serious business planning. By enforcing this structure, the AI agent makes sure the user is conducting a holistic analysis.
How so?
While forcing the inclusion of a section on competition or financial projections prevents a founder from just dwelling on the exciting solution part and ignoring the critical and sometimes uncomfortable realities of the market. It enforces comprehensive strategic thought.
That strategic rigor then has to translate into documents that are designed to attract capital. Which brings us to the pitch deck outline, 10 slide.
Right, and this is more than just a list of topics. It's a mandatory persuasive narrative flow. A story, exactly. Think about the required sequence. Slide 1 has to define the problem. Slide 2 must present the solution. Slide 5 talks about the market size. And slide 10 is always, always the ask the amount of funding you're looking for.
Why is that sequential requirement so important? Can't the AI just cover the topics in any order it wants?
The order is both psychological and logical. You must define the pain, the problem, before you introduce your cure, the solution. You have to establish that there's a viable market before you present your complex operational details.
I see.
The structure compels the AI to build momentum, to lead the investor logically and persuasively toward that final capital request. If an AI violates this established flow, the pitch deck it creates is immediately less effective. The format dictates the art of persuasion.
That makes perfect sense. Now, scaling a business requires repeatable action. So the SOP format, the standard operating procedure, that's non-negotiable for operational clarity.
Absolutely. The format is process name, purpose, steps, responsible person, tools needed, and notes.
Repeatability is the key to scaling, without everything descending into chaos.
It is. If a startup hires 10 new employees, they need them to perform the same task identically and efficiently. The AI can analyze internal communications, maybe some existing manuals, or even interviews, and then synthesize them into this clean SOP structure.
So every process is documented and clear.
Every single one. Whether it's handling a customer refund or onboarding a new vendor, it's easily trainable, auditable, and repeatable.
And what about managing team progress? The focus there has to be on actionability. I'm looking at the meeting minutes format.
Participants, agenda, discussion, decisions, action items, and deadlines.
The action items and deadlines seem critical.
They are everything. If your meeting minutes don't clearly state who is responsible for what and by when, the meeting's outcome is just diluted into nothing. This template forces the AI to extract not just what was discussed, but the specific commitments that were made.
It turns a record of a conversation into a live project management tool.
Which is critical for any fast-moving team.
And every project needs defined boundaries to start with. The project charter template seems essential for preventing scope creep.
Oh, scope creep kills projects. The template is objective, scope, timeline, budget, team, and risks. By forcing the AI to define these elements up front, especially the scope and the risks, you ensure the entire team is aligned on the constraints and the goals before they start executing. It formalizes intent.
It provides a standard you can measure against.
Exactly.
Let's look at market analysis. This feels like an area where AI agents can really structure complex, qualitative data into usable intelligence.
And the customer persona card is a perfect example of that. It demands specific fields like name, goals, pain points, buying behavior, and message strategy.
So when it's analyzing a large set of customer feedback,
the AI is forced to synthesize all that feedback into an empathetic, complete profile of a target customer. This moves the AI past just generic market segments and into usable, targeted marketing intelligence.
So it stops the AI from just saying, our target is millennials, and forces it to define their specific pain points and the exact message strategy that will address those pains.
The structure guides the synthesis, and it's a similar idea with the branding style guide format, color palette, typography, logo usage, tone, and examples. This ensures consistency across all your external communication.
So when an AI is generating marketing copy, This template acts as a brand compliance guardrail.
It does. It makes sure every single message adheres to the established look and the voice of the company.
Finally, let's touch on risk management. This is what ensures stability. The risk register format seems very proactive.
It is. It's risk, probability, impact, and mitigation.
And the mitigation part is key.
Of course, in business, it's not enough to just know a risk exists. You have to quantify it, that's the probability and impact, and then, crucially, you have to propose concrete steps to reduce the threat. That's mitigation. This structure demands proactive problem-solving from the AI, ensuring its output is actionable, not just descriptive.
And then there's the ultimate insurance policy for when things go wrong, the crisis response playbook.
Event, impact, response steps, communication plan, and recovery.
This sequential structure must be invaluable.
It is, because crises breed human panic and disorganized reactions. Imagine a data breach or a major supply chain failure. By using this format, the AI is pre-trained to categorize the event, assess the immediate impact, provide the mandated sequential response steps, issue the necessary communication plan.
Both internal and external drafts, I assume.
Both, and then outline the recovery steps. This template ensures a calm, structured, professional reaction which can protect a company's reputation and its long-term viability. It's structure applied under maximum stress.
It seems like in the business world, structure is really the foundation of professionalism. It's the guarantor of stability during periods of rapid growth or, sudden crisis.
It's the bedrock.
Let's shift gears again. We're moving to education and learning standardization. Here, the goal of structure changes entirely. It's not about legal compliance or financial gain. It's about optimizing comprehension, ensuring quality instruction, and establishing effective feedback loops for both students and teachers.
Exactly. Structure in education is fundamentally about reducing cognitive load. It's about organizing complex knowledge in a logical way. The 20 formats in this section enhance pretty much every aspect of the learning life cycle, from curriculum design all the way to student assessment.
So let's start with the instructional design templates. The lesson plan template is probably the simplest, but also the most fundamental structure. Section on one side, content on the other.
Simple, but it ensures preparedness. The instructor, or an AI acting as a curriculum designer, is forced to think logically through the flow of the lesson. It ensures every minute is dedicated to a specific section of content. And building on that, you have the digital school curriculum layout, which handles the high-level planning.
Module, lessons, and outcomes.
And the emphasis on outcomes is the key there.
Why so?
Because you need to know what you are teaching. That's the module, how you are teaching it, the lessons, and most importantly, why you are teaching it, the outcomes. This structure guarantees that the AI is always designing content that is outcome-focused and measurable.
Okay, now let's flip to the student side of things. This is where structure can fundamentally change learning habits. The chapter notes format is a prime example.
It is. It demands topic, definitions, concepts, examples, diagram explanation, and a final summary.
That is so much better than just simple linear note-taking or summarizing.
Far superior. By enforcing this structure, the student, or an AI helping the student organize their notes, is forced to process the information through multiple levels of abstraction. They have to define the term, explain the concept, find a real-world example, interpret any visuals, and then summarize the whole thing.
That structural requirement forces active learning. It forces higher-order thinking. You can't just passively read and write down the final summary. You have to interact with the material on all these different levels.
Precisely. And what you create is a robust, multi-layered memory aid. Then for organization, you have the exam revision plan. This is purely tactical.
Day, topics, practice.
Right. It breaks down the overwhelming task of revision into manageable, structured, scheduled chunks. An AI could generate this plan based on a student's current workload and their upcoming exam schedules.
And sometimes the simplest tools are the most effective. The study timetable day, subject, task is the simplest but maybe the most essential tool for self-management. It just structures a student's week.
It does. Now let's turn to assessment. This is an area that requires the most rigorous structure to ensure fairness and objectivity. The grading rubric is essential.
Criteria, points, description.
Exactly. If an institution is using an AI to help grade assignments or even just to help design the assessment criteria itself, this structured rubric ensures that the process is transparent, fair, and objective. It removes any ambiguity about how points are awarded or lost.
And that structured quantitative data then flows directly into the student report card. which is not a simple letter grade.
No, it's a multifaceted report. It demands name, grade, subject performance, attendance, teacher remarks, and recommendations.
The inclusion of teacher remarks and recommendations ensures the report moves beyond simple metrics. It provides holistic, actionable feedback on behavior, effort, and future steps.
This holistic approach is crucial, and it's mirrored in the teacher feedback template strengths, weaknesses, next steps, and advice. This template forces constructive, structured communication.
So if a teacher, or an AI, identifies a weakness, the structure mandates that they also provide an actionable next step or advice to address it.
It elevates feedback from vague criticism to concrete guidance. So if an AI is analyzing student work, it's prevented from just saying, needs improvement. It's forced to articulate how to improve.
It mandates instructional integrity.
Yes. And just one more. Think about the rigor required for the sciences. The experiment report format objective, materials, procedure, observation, conclusion, precautions. It ensures that the scientific methodology is followed. It forces the learner to convert raw lab data into a rigorous, verifiable scientific document. They have to demonstrate they understand the method, not just the result.
So in the educational world, these templates transform the AI into a powerful tool for imposing intellectual discipline and organizational clarity. It benefits everyone, students, teachers, and administrators.
It really does.
Okay, now we arrive at the frontier of AI application. We're talking multimodal capabilities and retrieval-augmented generation, or RB. This is where AI deals not just with text, but with images, video, audio, and critically, this is where the AI has to prove its answers are based on verifiable sources.
Right.
The structure here is the ultimate guarantee of trust.
It is. This section contains the most advanced use of output formats because they act as diagnostic tools, as accountability tools. When you're dealing with unstructured data types like media or the huge challenge of AI hallucination, the format itself is what guarantees transparency.
Let's start with handling diverse media types. The image analysis report. This requires a structured output for visual data, detected objects, text extracted, observations, issues found, and recommendations.
Okay, so imagine an AI analyzing satellite imagery for construction monitoring or reviewing medical scans. It can't just provide a narrative description. This structure forces it to list specific, quantified objects, to extract any embedded text like labels or dates, to note observations like structural cracks, to identify any hazards.
The issues found.
And then to provide an actionable recommendation. This report turns a visual analysis into a structured intelligence brief.
The structure is demanding that the AI ground its observation in discrete, measurable elements.
Absolutely. And the same principle applies to time-based media. The video summary layout demands time codes, scenes, topic summary, and speaker notes.
Why are time codes so critical for verification?
Because without time codes, a video summary is almost useless for verification. You can't find the source material. This format ensures that every single summarized segment is temporally linked to the source video.
So if the AI summarizes a legal deposition or a corporate earnings call,
the user can instantly jump to the exact moment in the video to verify the AI's claim. It makes the AI's output instantly auditable.
And what about on the input side? Like scanning complex physical documents.
Right, the OCR output format. This is essential for quality control. It's raw text, clean text, missing lines, and errors.
So the AI reports on its own performance.
It self-reports on the quality of its own transcription. Processing scanned documents, especially old or poorly preserved ones, always results in transcription errors. This template allows the AI to show the user the original text, the text it corrected, and, critically, to flag any missing lines or major errors.
Which tells a human exactly where they need to go back and check the source document for accuracy, rather than blindly trusting the transcription.
Precisely. And for huge reports, you have document structure, detection headers, subheaders, paragraphs, tables, footnotes. This is how the AI creates an internal map of the document.
It's building a complete navigational index before it even starts the retrieval.
Yes. So if you ask for the data in Table 4, subsection 3.2, the AI knows exactly where to look because it has already mapped all the footnotes and headers. It enables surgical precision in information retrieval.
Okay, now let's get to the ARGI verification engine. This is the true core of AI trustworthiness, and it's designed to combat that notorious problem of hallucination.
This is probably the most vital application of structured output today, and it starts with the ARGI retrieval table. This format is pure transparency.
It demands three things: chunk ID, relevance, and text.
Right.
So let's spend a moment on the technical side here. Explain chunk ID and relevance like you're talking to me over coffee.
Okay. Think of a chunk ID as a unique library call number and a page number combined. It links a specific snippet of text directly back to its exact location in the original source document. The relevance score is, well, it's how important that specific page was to forming the final answer. It's the correlation between the user's query and that piece of evidence.
So this format shows the user exactly the evidence the AI looked at and weighted to build its answer.
The exact evidence. So if the AI says the company's revenue was $10 million, the retrieval table will list the chunk ID that points to the exact line in the financial report that confirms that number. It's an undeniable audit trail.
It's the complete antithesis of a black box.
It is. And that transparency mechanism leads directly to the RAG summary format, which uses that context to build the final accountable answer.
The fields are context retrieved, answer, sources, and gaps.
And that gaps field is incredibly important.
Why?
It's the ultimate tool against hallucination. The structure forces accountability. The AI must first state the context retrieved, all the evidence it found, before it provides the answer. If the AI cannot find enough evidence to fully answer the query, it is structurally forced to state the gaps in the information.
So it prevents the AI from just inventing a fact to fill a void.
It teaches the AI to admit its own limitations, which is absolutely crucial for any professional use case.
That structural self-limitation is what creates trust. And this all culminates in the ultimate reliability mechanism, the hallucination check report.
This report is essential for any high-stakes drafting. It has 4 fields: claim, evidence found, missing evidence, and risk assessment.
So it's like the AI is performing an audit on itself.
It's a mandated self-audit, like a financial audit. The AI isolates a specific claim that it generated in its output. It then checks its internal knowledge base and the retrieved context for evidence found. It explicitly flags any missing evidence. And then it provides a risk assessment, high, medium, or low, on the reliability of that specific claim.
That is extremely high value. In fields like medical research or legal drafting, this report would be the final sign-off that the AI's output is safe to integrate into human work.
It shifts the burden of proof onto the AI itself.
And are there any other diagnostic structures?
Yes, for the developers, there's the embedding diagnostics, table query, vector score issue. This provides a technical look at the search quality. If the internal search returns a low vector score, this structure helps developers identify the underlying issue with the search query so they can optimize the AI's internal retrieval mechanism.
And one final one. Processing structured data that's hidden inside unstructured text, like pulling key variables from a massive contract.
The data extraction template. This is crucial. It's field, extracted value, confidence, and notes.
This is all about efficiency.
Pure efficiency. When you're processing thousands of invoices, you don't need a summary. You need specific, clean data points. The invoice number, the total amount, the due date. This template ensures the AI pulls only the required data, measures its confidence in that extraction, and adds relevant notes. It transforms unstructured text into clean, structured database entries with no human intervention.
The structure ensures the output is ready for a database.
It's database ready. It's clear that the structured format acts as a mandatory quality control and transparency layer at every single stage, from analyzing a complex image to verifying a single factual claim in an RG-powered summary.
So after this deep dive into, 80 specific formats across legal, business, education, and the highly technical RAG space, the central theme is it's undeniable. These 100-plus formats from Appendix T are the blueprint for making sure AI agents function not just as creative chat interfaces, but as disciplined, reliable, professional coworkers.
They enforce a logical structure, they mandate adherence to international standards, and most importantly, they provide the crucial transparency mechanisms we need to build trust in AI output. By mandating accountability structures like that gaps field in RA or the contradictions column in the evidence chart, these formats overcome the inherent limitations of general LLMs.
Limitations like inconsistency and a total lack of traceability.
Exactly.
And the relevance for you, the learner, is immediate and highly practical. You don't need to be an AI developer to use this knowledge. You can maximize the utility of any AI system, whether it's a commercial one or something bespoke, just by demanding the output in these specific professional formats.
That's the key takeaway. If you're struggling to move a business idea past the idea stage, you prompt the AI. Generate a full 10-slide pitch deck outline for this idea. If you need to organize your college course material, you ask, structure my notes on quantum physics using the chapter notes format. The structured output becomes your professional superpower.
You turn a chaotic tool into a disciplined assistant.
That's it.
It's like the ultimate prompt engineering shortcut. Instead of asking for something complex and getting something chaotic back, you ask for a known, clean, professional template to be filled. You dictate the professionalism of the result.
Which leads us to a final thought, building on the profound implications of this source material. If AI agents are going to be increasingly defined by their ability to generate professional outputs based on these codified structures and, international documentation standards, what does this imply about the future role of human experts in fields like law, design, or accounting?
Do we shift entirely? So instead of spending our time creating the structure and then filling it in ourselves, we just oversee the AI filling in the structure and ensuring the bespoke nuances are captured correctly.
The human skill might transition entirely from creation to critical oversight, auditing, and bespoke customization. Will human professionals become primarily editors and critical reviewers, master customizers of these near-perfect structural templates? That means demanding higher standards of rigor from the AI, knowing exactly how to audit its hallucination check report, and ensuring its conclusions stand up to scrutiny.
It's a fundamental change in the definition of expertise.
It is, and it's something to think about as you start demanding these precise, structured outputs from your own AI tools.
That's a fascinating inversion of the value chain. That is all the time we have for this deep dive into the blueprint of professional AI output. Thank you for joining us.